Okay. All right. So welcome this evening or morning if you're rewatching this. Uh, right now, live, this is October, and our theme for this month is mindfulness. That can mean so many things for so many people. So just let yourself allow the invitation of mindfulness to be what you need it to be or what you're familiar with, or even being open to new concepts that might be presented here tonight or throughout the month. In particular, I was looking at the 9 key attitudes of mindfulness. And we were actually chatting in a group about this a week or two ago of, there's 9 attitudes of mindfulness, and one of them is non-striving. And it's interesting because when there's a list like that, your brain automatically just wants to check them all off and go into striving mode like immediately. And so those 9 are actually, I do have a little screen open. Let's see. Okay. So these are the 9 attitudes here. Attitudes of mindfulness. We have acceptance, letting go, non-judging, patience, beginner's mind, trust, gratitude, generosity, and of course, like I said, non-striving. And so our left brain that is logical and linear and loves lists and loves that all of those things start with L has to do, wants to go through and say, have I been accepting? Have I been letting go? Have I been, moving through all of these things? So that's just, again, so something to note as part of this practice is that that's happening in your mind and that's not who you are in any way. So these 9 attitudes, we have chosen beginner's mind for this evening. And I think it's a great place to step into, whether this is your first pregnancy or your second. So many things that you have learned possibly from a previous pregnancy, and all of that wisdom that you can carry forth is wonderful. And then there's also going to be a lot of new things to experience and be aware of as well. And then if this is your first pregnancy, everything is new, and having this beginner's mind can be really helpful. So especially as we move through tonight's practice, right, we've done yoga before, we've done sun salutations and downward facing dog. And so we're asking ourselves to look at things anew. And so as we start to move towards some writing for the first few moments, it's kind of open-ended here, just giving you this opportunity in this space if this is part of your practice. And it's, we've been having a hard time kind of getting back into it. I know I definitely have. So thinking to yourself, like, how has beginner's mind sat with me recently? And, you can relate it to your pregnancy, to parenting, anything in particular, or if beginner's mind is something that you want to invite in more greatly, you can start to write about that as well. If you're choosing just to sit, make yourself comfortable or even lie down and just take a few moments to sit with beginner's mind. What does this mean to you? How might you cultivate it? Yeah, we'll take the first few minutes to do that. Probably take about 2 more minutes. No rush. Whenever you are feeling like you are coming to a good end, you don't have to hard stop here. Feel free to finish your thought or keep your notebook nearby if something else comes to you throughout practice. Stop sharing here. So I've got a blanket. I've got 2 blocks. The blocks aren't super duper necessary. I love using blocks in practice. And I totally suggest having some eventually if you continue this practice at home. But something we are going to be doing with something that is block-like, you could also do it with like 2 books or like a really sturdy book or something that you can think of that you can stand on, maybe a child's toy or something around you, literally anything. But we're going to be using it to release the psoas muscle here. So we're going to need a little step up so that this leg can kind of flow freely there. So feel free just to take a moment to find something like that. We're going to use that in just a little while. Okay, when you're ready, finding a seat where we can start to slowly shift out of this thinking, active, doing place. Albeit we can do that being mindful, but we're going to turn this inward now. Taking a seat, starting to lift your chest here, holding yourself up. Take a few shrugs of the shoulders. Maybe even a little rotation of the neck before you let yourself fully settle here. And then allowing your eyes to drop low to the floor or letting your eyelids softly close. Sitting in this dignified position, the crown of the head reaching up towards the sky. Let's take a few deep breaths together, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Breathing in nice and full. And then let it go. At your own time, this breath fills up. And exhale, releases fully, pressing all of this air out. One more time. Now with your lips softly closing together, Relaxing your jaw, allowing your teeth to perhaps separate just a bit. Start to breathe in and out through the nose. Turning our full attention to our breath. Activating this mindfulness practice through simple awareness. Knowing when you're inhaling, feeling that breath, and then being with your body as you're exhaling. Beginner's mind, as if you've never noticed your breath before. What are the qualities here today? Is it feeling smooth or sharp? Expansive or tight? These are just words to describe, letting go of any feelings we have connected. Noticing the breath. Aware of your body in this seat. Continue with this natural rhythmic breath. And let your arms fall towards the ground by your side. You might choose to blink your eyes open or keep them closed as we again follow this breath, but letting the arms rise as we inhale. As we exhale, keep the hands reaching out like sun rays falling down by your side. Breathing in, the hands rise. Breathing out, arms reach and fall. Again. Take 2 more breaths like that. Now, one more as the hands rise up to the sky. Twisting to your right. Really gentle twist, more about the shoulders and just kind of turning in that direction, keeping your belly soft. Relax your shoulders down your back when you arrive there. You might even invite this twist more into the cervical spine by looking behind you. Without straining, just finding a nice stretch. And on your time, in breath, back up to the sky, hands reach. And exhale and twist to the other side. Fingers out to the side or back behind you. Again, nice soft belly. That back shoulder just gently guiding you into the twist, and then the head can start to turn back as well. One more time, up to the sky on an in-breath, reach up. And then sun rays down by your side again. This time, really spread your fingers out and away. And then interlace your fingers behind your back. See if you can put the opposite thumb on top of that kind of go-to spot that you just landed, right? Beginner's mind, trying to switch it up, do something new. And roll your shoulders back, gently squeezing your shoulder blades together. One more breath, right to the heart. And release your hands. You can take the hands out in front and switch to come to a tabletop position. Blanket can open if you're using one, or it can just go right off to the side. Coming right to table. Take your knees nice and wide as the yoga mat. And then tuck your toes, get a little stretch through the soles of your feet as your hips move back, kind of this little crouch. And then coming back and releasing the tops of your feet here, maybe even rolling through your ankles a little bit. And we're going right into a child's pose. So again, depending on where you're at and how you feel today and how baby needs some space, you could bring blocks under your forehead if you're working with a bolster or pillows under your forearms. Lots of ways to make space here. So child's pose, the ultimate beginner's mind, the child's point of view. And that's something even throughout pregnancy that you can start to bring yourself into that space. What's my child experiencing right now? What do they hear? What do they feel? Everything is brand new. Enjoy another moment here. Connecting with your little babe. And we'll start to tie in our breath when you're ready. Reaching through your hands, coming up to a child's pose like tabletop, so your knees are still wide. And then exhale, move your hips right back. Your head might not come all the way down. We're gonna rock back and forth, inhaling to come forward, exhaling to move back. Using that full breath for each movement. Shifting forward, breathing in. Exhale, all the way back. One more time, coming forward. Exhale as you move back. So your hips are low, your upper body's still kind of lifted. We're going to walk the hands over to the left. So as you're reaching to the left, that right hand is just gently pressing into the ground, into your floor. Do what's comfortable for your head here. You can always drop your chin slightly towards your chest. Maybe start to just sense, where do you feel the stretch? It might be present in your side body, your hip, your shoulder, all of the above. And when you're ready, back to center. And we're gonna walk ourselves up before we do the second side here. So we're kind of sitting back on our heels, if that's okay. Shrug your shoulders again here. Take your hands up to the sky. Interlace your fingers your dominant way. And then just start to reach, get really long through the side body. You might be kind of squeezing your head here a little bit. You can do the Kali Mudra with the index fingers pointed up to the sky, otherwise known as Charlie's Angels. Good. And from here, cactus your arms out. Let your elbows come all the way down. And then walk yourself back through center. And then over to the right. So it's your left hand this time that's really reaching. Bending that left hip back. Imagining your rib cage, all of these muscles to the side body. Towards the end of the day, probably a lot shorter than at the beginning of the day. All of that gravity, taking care of yourself, your family. Give yourself this nice big breath here to make some space. And when you're ready to walk back through center, and then slowly lift your hips away from your heels and bring your knees back to hip distance apart for table. Fingers are spread nice and wide, and we'll do a few pelvic tilts here, some cat-cow. Exhaling to press into the ground, top of the back or the back of your heart up to the sky. Inhale, letting yourself come forward, letting baby hang in their little hammock, and then exhale, back to cat. And moving with your breath between the two. You're ready to, from here, with toes tucked under, we'll take downward facing dog. The modification for down dog, if your head or any part of your body is not liking this today, is to take hands and knees with one foot back to take that stretch in the calf muscle. If down dog is feeling good, you can have knees bent. You could always look forward if that pressure in your head ever becomes an issue. Downward facing dog here, letting yourself walk out the knees, keeping those hands really strong. Your fingers are gripping the mat. Okay, take a few nice slow steps now up towards the top of your mat, coming into a forward fold. Modification for a fold is to squat with forearms to thighs, keeping head lifted. Folding feet as wide as you like. Maybe hanging in ragdoll for a few breaths. Releasing the head and neck by shaking yes or no if that feels right. Noticing where the weight is in your feet here, right? You've done a forward fold before. Just start to sense the body and all of these different sensations that are available to you. Okay, the hands start to drag slowly up as you press to your feet and come up to a standing position. Take your time, let the blood flow back down. Adjust so my head's not cut off. Okay, coming into a nice easy mountain. Nice neutral pelvis. Whenever I arrive somewhere, I just notice that I kind of wiggle and shake just to really feel natural and let my body arrive. You might do that too. Hands down by your side, relaxed. Soft bend through your knees. So this is just one of a million modifications for a sun salutation. So we'll do this today without coming down onto the belly. Breathing in, the hands will rise up to the sky. I don't have space, so I'm going to rise forward. And then the exhale, slowly starting to bend the knees, folding down. Inhale, lifting up to your knees halfway. Then exhale, bend your knees a lot, hands down, and step your left foot back. Drop your left knee down to the floor. Breathe in to rise to this low lunge. And then exhale and release down. Tuck the toes. Oh, sorry. Just kidding. Stay where you are and step your foot back, coming into table. So our heart opening here is going to be cow, rolling the shoulders back. And then instead of coming onto the belly, widen your knees for child's pose. Coming back up to hands and knees. Bring the knees back together, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. We'll flow through this a few times here. When you're ready, take a few steps forward, back to your folds. Breathe in to lift halfway. Exhale to fold down. Inhale, rising all the way up. Hands reach up to the sky. Exhale down to your heart. Inhale, hands rise. Exhale, folding forward, soft knees. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hands to the floor, right foot steps back. And making space, this left foot can come out wider. Then dropping your knee down, breathing into your low lunge, lifting up high. Exhale, release the hands down. Step back to table. Breathe in into cow. Exhale to child's pose. Breathe in to come forward to table. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take another breath here. And then step forward all the way to your fold. Breathe in to lift halfway when you're ready. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, palms float to your heart. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands down. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, left foot steps back again. One more time on either side, knee down. Breathing in, hands up. Exhale, release. Step back to table. Breathe into cow. Roll the shoulders back. Exhale, widen the knees, child's pose. Keep flowing. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Connect with your breath. Another inhale. Stepping forward as you exhale. Folding down. Halfway lift to inhale. Exhale, fold. Breathing into the sky. Hands to your heart. Last one here. Breathe in. Exhale, fold down. Halfway lift, breathe in. Bend the knees, hands down, right foot steps back. Right knee down. Breathe in to rise. Exhale, release. Tabletop. Inhale to cow. Exhale, child's pose. Keep it going. Inhale, forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Full round. Inhale and exhale. And then slowly step yourself forward. Back to your fold. Take a moment here. Press down to your feet and slowly rise yourself up, keeping your arms down this time as you come back to your mountain pose, standing tall. Okay. Looking down at your toes, take your right foot towards the center of your mat and step your left foot out and open. So something that we start to do throughout pregnancy as the hormone relaxant starts to move through is we don't want to do too much stretching of the pubic symphysis outward and open. So we do a little bit more of hips squared. So it might take a little getting used to here, but this left back foot is at a slight angle. And so we're kind of working with a warrior 2 and 1 together. So this front knee is going to start to bend above the ankle. And then taking your arms out wide, this left hip point is slightly forward, right? It's not totally open, slightly forward, but the arms are like warrior 2. Nice, sturdy through the feet. We're going to start to reach forward and find our side angle. Bring your forearm down to your thigh. And this top hand has lots of options, can rest on the hip, can reach up to the sky, or even come alongside the ear. In that bottom hand, the wrist is strong, like you're holding a platter. Your palm is facing up to the sky. Smooth breath. Okay. And with strength here, coming back up to that starting place. Take your back hand to your belly and your front hand up to the sky to reverse your warrior. Reaching those top fingers, nice and high. And your gaze can always just be wherever your neck feels the best. Take your arms back out to warrior 2 here, and then release all the way. Now we're going to straighten this front leg and come into Trikonasana, triangle. So same with the hips here, letting your arms come out parallel again. If you do have a block, or in the future, if you want to get a block, that's going to be there on the inside of the foot. We're reaching forward again, tipping down to the shin or to a block. Again, this can come right to the hip, this top hand, or you can reach up towards the sky. Your left hip, your left butt cheek is kind of slightly scooping under. Right? If you were to kind of rub against your glutes right now, you'd feel them active and engaged. Right? So as you come out of this pose, slightly bend your knee, lift your hands again slowly, and then release your hands down. Okay, we're going to step forward to come to the other side. So take that back foot a few steps or one, back to the top, coming into mountain pose just for a moment. Noticing if there's any sensation still here from that stretch, those series of poses. And then your left foot will come towards the center as your right foot steps back. So we're on train tracks here. Our feet are wide apart. Right toes slightly angled forward with your heel rooted down. And bend into your front knee. Keeping your hips moving in the same direction or relatively, letting your arms and your upper body just slightly twist for warrior two. If you've never been here before, how does it feel for your arms to be floating in the air like this today? You sense your heart beating here. Now when you're ready, start to reach forward. Come on down to your thigh. Position your top hand how you'd like to. The hip to the sky or alongside the ear. Hold your platter with your bottom hand. Take another breath. Stretching all up the side of the body from your heel to your fingers. Then press down through your feet as you lift yourself up. Your back hand sweeps to your belly, and your top hand sweeps up to the sky. Holding your balance here. And then release your hands. Straighten your front leg. Ready for triangle. We'll breathe in to reach forward. Exhale to tip down. Right, so if you had, it's like fishing line with a weight, it was tied right to your front hip point, this top hip, can you let that weight fall to the ground instead of opening out and reaching out to the side? Just something to keep in mind and start to work with. As always, listening to your body is number one. One more breath here. And then bending softly into that front knee as you lift yourself up. Releasing your hands, you can start to turn your whole body forward and come back to mountain. Stand tall once again. From your feet, traveling all the way up your body, feeling the length of each of your muscles, your bones, to the crown of your head. Okay, so we're going to shift just to do something maybe a little new. You've never done this before, finding your book, right? You only need a few inches off of the ground. I think even a pillow, or like I have this Mexican blanket that's really sturdy, so that could even work just to get your foot off of the ground. Of course, you want to make sure that you feel balanced. Okay, so bringing beginner's mind to our familiar practices and to our new. So you can start really with either side here. I've got my right foot on the block. And as you come up, finding your balance here, coming back to that mountain pose, and then just slowly starting to swing. This is also safe next to a wall. I'm going to hold on to the wall so I'm a little bit more balanced. And dorsiflex your foot so you don't drag your toes on the mat like I just did. Dorsiflex toes pull up towards the shin. Great, you can start slow, just starting to feel this momentum. Great, our practices further along through pregnancy really get to be so much about the hips. Of course, everything is connected, but this muscle in particular in the front, the psoas, can hold a lot of our memories, our emotions, our stress. So starting to let that go. And I think this is a pretty playful way to do so as well. About 20 more seconds on this side. You're ready. Slowing that movement down. Be aware of your body. Can you make it slower without halting immediately? Come to a stop on its own. And letting this foot come down. We're going to just step off of whatever it is you're on. That same leg that was swinging. Again, I recommend holding on to something for some good balance here. We're going to take our foot towards the body, bending the knee. Take it back behind you. And take that stretch further down the thigh. And as you're moving into this stretch here, you can think about your knees coming towards midline. Right, so if your knee feels like it's out here, slowly start to guide it through center. Ready to release from here and step both of your feet down. You can shake out that standing leg that's been working this whole time. I'm getting a little notice that my computer is low on battery, so I'm going to go grab my charger so I don't lose you guys. So that first side was fairly simple. So if you want to step right into the second side, I'll meet you here in just a second. Note to self, bring this next time. Okay, I'm going to jump in for just a few seconds with you. You can take your quad stretch whenever you'd like to. You start to feel even. Okay. Feels really good. I want to let it go. If that's the same for you, take another breath and then release. Taking steps or wiggles you need to from your legs. And so we're going to be coming into our pigeon now, holding it for a good amount of time. So pigeon, again, is another pose that loves props. It loves to just support you and hold you. As you move through your practices, you'll find out what feels right. Pillows, blankets, or blocks, even a bolster. So we'll start by coming down low. And pigeon can be accessed from all fours, from downward facing dog. So what I'm going to do here, right? You can also get up higher on blocks if you need to, is just slide your knee up to the corner and then kick your foot over to the opposite side of your mat. Where you would support yourself if you wanted to is underneath the bent knee side of your hip. You can put a little block right under your butt. So take a look back. See that your toes are pointed directly back. Your foot is flat. And then nice and high here. When you're ready, forearms can come down. Again, supporting, if you'd like, blocks under the head, pillows, blankets, all that good stuff. As you settle in here, letting your weight feel like it's centered or maybe even slightly toward your bent knee side, just like the tiniest bit. It just rocking a little can change your sensation. So you can pause wherever it feels the best. Bringing some of your awareness to your front foot, one that's under your body here. Just gently pressing the toes into the mat. And what that's doing is activating your muscles in your foot, your ankle, and up towards your knee, giving you a little added protection. Softening the muscles of your face and your jaw here. A few more breaths to go. Take one more of those nice deep inhales through the nose and an exhale through your mouth as your last breath here. And with your hands starting to press into the mat, exiting is an individual choice as well. You can come onto the hip, slide forward, or you could choose to come back to a more upright position. Slide back to table. You can take a downward dog. Right, if you chose to sit forward, you can even just kind of let your legs take a little bubble, bending your knees. And then we're going to come to the second side with a whole fresh perspective. This could be a totally different journey here. We'll see what we have in store. So I'm just modeling from table again, hiking that knee up, setting that foot across. A lot easier to do in first and second trimesters than the third. But as you get settled here, look back at your foot, press the top of the foot into the ground. High up onto the fingertips, lifting the chest. There's that stretch to the psoas again. And then letting yourself come down. Be curious about where your weight wants to settle. Maybe shifting again, side to side. Inviting in that idea again of non-judgment from our attitudes of mindfulness. When we move into deeper stretches, we often have something to say about it. I'm so tight. I can't believe I'm this tight. I should do this more. Release it. Be here, enjoy the stretch now. You're taking care of yourself right now. By doing this now, you are doing it more. Make sure the second side gets all the love that the first did. And take another breath here. Big inhale, open mouth exhale. And then we'll slowly start to come out, pressing the hands down. Since that's our second side, I'm going to take it low to the hip, but feel free to release any way you'd like to. When you're ready, meet us, or me, in Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. Starting to cool the body down, ending practice, letting yourself shift forward towards a fold. Arms can stay in or reach out. Lifting yourself back up, shoulders above your hips. Take your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice little wrap around hug for a moment. Your choice for Shavasana is a seated meditation, lying on your back. For tonight, I'll just demonstrate side lying with a bolster or a pillow. And that would be on your left side, letting your top leg come right to the bolster. Let your body take more just deep, full exhale. Really ground into this place. Nice signal of rest. Eyes softly closing. Letting every muscle in your body relax. Starting at your feet and your ankles, with your shins and your calf muscles, around your knees, and your thighs, and towards your hips. And here on your belly, taking a moment to be with your baby. Welcoming them to this practice and this sense of calm. Imagining your breath, this rhythm all around them. Loving attention still with them as you move up the rest of your body, giving it the space to let go. For your ribs and your chest, your shoulders, and down your arms, all the way to your hands. And up towards your neck, your throat, your jaw, your ears, your cheeks, your forehead, your eyes, even giving your hair permission to relax. This is the place that we get to be right now. pregnancy, motherhood. Our babies and our children are our greatest mindfulness teachers, experiencing so much for the first time. When you're ready to, you can start to wiggle through your fingers, your toes. If it feels right in your body and you're on your side, you can even roll onto your back and just take a nice big stretch. As you're rising from a low position on the ground, I invite you to turn back to one side and use your hands to help lift you up. To close together, one hand to the belly, one to the heart. Taking such great joy, knowing that we are not walking this path alone. Love and gratitude. Namaste.